All right, I'm gonna do another video. This one is gonna be kind of pop and rock together. There's not many records for this whole month of February, so I kind of slowed down a little bit for whatever reason. And I'm just gonna show some albums. I'm gonna play some clips as long as they pass the YouTube, thing, as long as they're allowed. And I'm gonna start with the newest and get to the oldest because I just kind of mix of pop and rock in here. There's only a few pop records. Most of it's rock or hard rock from the 70s, but there's, well, not most of it, but about half of it. Some of it is pop music, and yeah. So there's an indie rock band that I'm going to start with because it's the only indie rock record I bought. Well, technically two, but this is probably one of my favorite albums in my collection, honestly. This is a band that I really, 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 really like. Their songs are incredibly melodic. They are kind of a little bit grungy, I guess, maybe just a little bit, but more like indie pop. And the songs are just really, really great. And I'm going to play a couple clips. And this is a band called Charlie Bliss. And this is the album called Guppy. Just have it on black vinyl. These guys are fantastic. They are freaking amazing. Really, 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 really good stuff. Incredibly catchy choruses. Melodicism is off the charts. So yeah, take a listen to a couple of their songs. The next album I bought is one of the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard albums. This is Polygonwana Land. They're a great prog rock band. This album came out in 2017. So did Charlie Bliss, actually. So these albums both came out the same year. I have 3 King Gizzard albums up to this point. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep buying Gizzard albums. They're good. I just don't listen to them a lot. The ones that I have, you really got to listen to them a lot in order to absorb them because there's a lot going on. But yeah, it's still good. I just need to, I think with the 3 that I have, there's a lot going on those records. So I really just want to keep listening to those. This album is really good. The next 3 albums, actually, I think I got all these on Amazon. I think they were all like 20, 25 bucks each. They weren't very expensive. They might have been on sale or clearance. And I just went crazy because I had bought a bunch of records from Madonna already, some of the 80s stuff. And all of a sudden, just like some of her 2000s stuff era and mid 90s stuff just popped up on sale. And this is a really good one. This is Madonna Confessions on the Dance Floor. This is like a disco record. So if you like pop music with the disco sensibilities, like the first song even samples ABBA, which is really, really, really good. The songs on here, I really like this album. This is a really good Madonna record. This one came out in 2000. This is Madonna Music. I always, the back cover of this just makes me insane. I don't know why she chose this cover. It looks like she's never seen a guitar before and she's just really confused by it. But I don't know why she chose that picture. But anyway, Madonna is great. This album is pretty good. This album is more like techno. This one has, with her voice, they do a lot of auto-tune on this, and they really mess with the music on here. But it's kind of like Madonna, every album is kind of unique. You know, I mean, her first like 3 or 4 records, you know, from the 80s, it's just 80s pop music. But then she really started experimenting in the pop genre and really getting into, you know, getting producers and writers to help her out, you know, with a lot of, mostly producers. But yeah, getting some interesting sounds on there. And this is a pretty good record. It's not that bad. Now, this one, Bedtime Stories, this is more of like an R&B kind of record. Most of the songs on here are real slow. It's pretty good. This isn't, I kind of like the more upbeat pop music that Madonna does, but this album isn't bad. It's just not my favorite. And this one came out in 1994. This is Bedtime Stories. This album, another one that I got really cheap on Amazon. This is the Beastie Boys, License to Ill. Yeah, great record. All right, now we're getting into the hard rock and stuff from the 80s and used records that I bought. Most of those were new that I bought. I think all the rest of these are used records, yeah. So I picked up Slide It In from Whitesnake. I actually had to buy this album twice. The first album that I got was incredibly warped. After I did that, I'm always checking, you know, as much as I can for warps on records, you know, because I think it was pretty obvious. And this was early in my collecting, and I was just trusting, you know, sellers, you know, and, you know, you really got to pull those used albums out sometimes and just, you know, do a quick visual check. You know, if there's some obvious warpage, you're going to see it. But so I had to buy this album twice. And yeah, it's a great record. Side 1 is great. There's a lot of really good songs on there. The lyrics on this album, especially the Side 2 lyrics, Spit It Out or whatever. Yeah, incredibly cheesy and kind of gross and dumb. But anyway, it's still a good record. All right, I picked up Joan Jett. This is the I Love Rock and Roll. It has Crimson and Clover on here as well. Lots of cover songs on here. I got a pretty cool copy. I got a promo, Compliments of Image, and I think there's, yeah, I got the little thing on here from the company, you know, asking, you know, like you're asking the radio DJ the opinion on the record. Is this album headed for the top 10, the top 50, the top 100? Does this album have commercial potential? You know, it's trying to get some information from DJs after they listen to the record, which I think is kind of cool. And I got that album pretty cheap. Yeah, I like Joan Jett. Joan Jett's good. All right, here's an okay album. This is an album from the mid-70s, UFO, No Heavy Petting. Just a basic hard rock record from the 70s. It's pretty good stuff on here. It's okay. Song I got to play is pretty neat. It's called On With the Action. It's kind of like an interesting song on here. It's pretty cool.
You can't
this album. Mega Jeff just bought the lenticular cover from, actually, no, he didn't just buy it. He actually has it. We were just talking about it because he bought the second album from Captain Beyond when he was up here in Kannapolis, or up here in Charlotte, and we went to Kannapolis to the Recyclable Records. He bought the second album from Captain Beyond, but we were discussing, he has the one with the lenticular cover, and I was saying, well, I didn't like that cover because it was really small. I kind of like the full-blown, cover where you can see the full art. But yeah, that lenticular cover is kind of neat. It was unique for the time, so that's pretty cool. But I usually like these full covers. Like the Dio albums, those reissues were all lenticular covers. I don't really like those that much, but anyway, this is a pretty good record. Play something from this. And of course, everybody has to have Slade in their collection. This is Sladeist. Best of Slade has Come On Feel the Noise, has Mama We're All Crazy Now. Both of the songs that Quiet Riot did. Goodbye to Jane is on here. All their hits, and just, yeah, fantastic band. I mean, this is glam rock, the best probably one of the best glam rock bands, on earth from that era, from the early 70s. This is 1973. T-Rex is in that category. I really, really just love that glam rock sound. This is from 1973 as well. This is from the black, white, and red era. People call this because there's black, white, and red on the first 2-3 albums from Blue Oyster Cult. This is a really good album. Really good album. I really dig this. Definitely. And the last album I bought was James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. It was played, one of the songs on here was played on Shabby Road Record Show, the podcast. It was Goodbye My Love. And I was like, oh man, that song is amazing. It's so good. James Brown is really, really, really good. I don't have enough James Brown records, but if you're going to get one, this is a good one to get. And this is a early, if not original press. It's definitely VG. There's noise in it, but it's still a really fantastic album. And that's all I bought for hard rock and pop music. I'm going to do another video here for metal.